Hey everyone, Fox here from Fox & Kit Woodworks and Fox Den Videos, bringing you the initial setup and review of the Safety Pro AP2, courtesy of XTool. Again, I am not an affiliate or sponsored by them. I won this during the giveaway, and we're going to go over the initial setup like we did with the F2 and show you kind of the process. In this video, we're actually going to do a little bit more in depth on it and hopefully get it all in one take. So go ahead and stay tuned and see what happens. So after reading the instructions here, it's actually a pretty simple setup, just like the F2. Really all we're going to be doing is taking these filters out, getting them packaged, and then putting them back in, and then connecting it to our machine. In the box, like we went over in the unboxing, comes with a couple different pieces. The first three pieces I'm going to go over are these connectors, and these are basically connectors to attach to the different hoses. This one is your 4-inch connector and adapter to be able to attach to your 4-inch hose that comes with the machine, or that might already be installed on your S1, P2, or P3. Maybe not the P3, but definitely the P2. But then it also has this little small guy. And this guy is actually designed for the smaller machines that have this, I believe it's a 2 or 3-inch hose. And it actually is pretty easy to install. All of these tubes have this little lip right in here. And that lip will catch onto these guys right in here. So what we're going to do for the initial part of this setup is take our exhaust hose from the F2, the nice thing is very snug on there. You don't have to really worry about it coming off. All you have to do is take one of these off, and it's opposite. Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. See how it popped off? And we're going to take this one, line it up, and just start spinning it counterclockwise, making sure that it is catching that first part of that opening of the ring. And that is on. This can now hook up to our AP2 on the backside. We're just going to set it up in place because I know where it's going to go is down here. Now it also comes with one of these ring attachers or clamps, which you can use to then clamp and make sure it's nice and tight on the AP2, the power cable, but also this dongle. And this dongle is something you want to make sure you get out of the box. This is what's going to allow it to wirelessly connect to the machine and to your computer to know that it's going to be used for it. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and start unpacking this and taking all this wrapping off. One note that they say is do not take the fans out. I know there's a step that you're supposed to take it out down the road for cleaning to clean the fans off with. But for the unpacking, what we're going to do is remove number 1 through 5 and unpackage them, and then put them back 5 through 1, making sure they're all in alignment. Okay, that was pretty easy. Now, in the instructions, it talks about now we're going to replace them back in order from 5 to 1 going up. Now, the important part in the instructions is it says there is an aligned filter line here, and I'm going to show you that in a close-up in just a second. But that is where we want to align these filters up to. Okay, now that you've seen the aligned filter line, we're going to go ahead and reinstall them. Now, one thing that I did just so I make sure I do the order right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, is I just stacked them as I pulled them out from 1 through 5 and put them on a stack, so that way number 5 was already up on top. So here's number 5. We're going to slide it in and make sure it is set to that aligned filter line. We'll do number 4. And what we'll do is maybe test if sliding them all the way back is the better option. But for what it says, for all purposes, you need to align them all so that they're flush with each other. which it looks like they want to push all the way back to the back. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to push them all the way to the back. We'll call it good. We'll see what the machine says when it comes time. And what you'll notice is you push them in, there's a little bit of resistance because there's foam on the top and the bottom that links with the foam on the next one below it to make a nice seal. It's a little snug. All right, there's one side in. There we go. So now everything's pressed together, making a good tight seal. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and return the cover. In the beginning of the instructions, it says, please remove the cover. And I'm guessing that's just because on some machines when they're shipped, it might have the cover on it. This one did not. It was already in the box. And if you watch the review, you'll see that. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. There's that beautiful XTool logo. And now we're just replacing the cover on it. Just like that. Magnetic. All right, now that we've got it on and together, the next step is going to be, let's go ahead and refer to the user's manual because I did not actually read this far. Okay. It's actually going to be putting the clamp on, and then we will be moving over to the unit itself. Okay, we are now powered up and all set up, all connected. I will tell you this much. That clamp probably isn't that necessary if you're setting up in a static location. It has such a tight fitting on the back of the AP2 that it really didn't compress it that much. But if you were going to be setting it somewhere where it might get knocked or bonked while you're working, probably a good idea just so that way it doesn't come undone on accident. Okay, so reading the instructions, it says you can just put the dongle into the back of the F2 or the machine, and it should automatically pair. Now, tried that, did not pair, so did a little research online. What I found out is that the F2 actually has Bluetooth built into it. So what you do is you actually go to the power button on the AP2, you hold it down until the Bluetooth link button starts flashing or light starts flashing, and then you go over to your F2 and you click Add Accessory to the F2, and then it'll pick it up on the F2 and link them together. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see here, I have already set it up into pairing mode, but there is the power button. You just put your finger on it for about 5 seconds. This light comes on. Okay, what we're going to do is go to our F2. We're going to click the 3 dots right here. It's going to go to Device Settings. We're going to pan down over here to the Device Settings. We're going to go to Accessory Information, click Add, and there it is. Now we'll hit Connect. And look at that. We are now connected to the Safety Pro AP2. From here, we can also make adjustments like checking for updates, airflow, presets for all the different types of airflow depending on what it is. So right now it's set to auto, meaning it'll choose what's best for the type of engraving we're doing. And then it gives you the filters, basically percentage of life left. Okay, everyone, so I am down here by the AP2. We actually have an engraving going for my F2 review. And as you can tell, it's relatively quiet. Most of the noise is actually coming from the engraver itself. This is actually really nice and quiet. I'm right by it. I'm engraving slate. It's not treated slate. Like normally I'll put lacquer on them and you'll get some fumes out of it. But I don't smell anything. I don't have any weird smells coming from it. In fact, earlier I actually engraved one of the aluminum business cards. And if you've ever engraved those aluminum business cards, you kind of get a weird kind of funky smell from them. And when I did the first engraving before the AP2 was hooked up, I could get that kind of burnt metal or, kind of oxidized metal smell coming out. Once I hooked it up to this and I left it closed, No smell at all whatsoever. No fumes, no nothing. I popped it open before this had actually finished fully extracting, and I got just an ever so faint whiff of it from the machine. But so far, this thing's working really great. I'm going to be doing a lot more engraving with it over the next couple days. What I'll be doing is a re-review of all the different materials that I have engraved, and if I was able to notice any smells. One thing about this is that it is quite heavy. So for its size, it's a lot... it's very deceiving when you look at it and go to pick it up. So you definitely want to have it on the ground. It does have some nice wheels on the base that allow you to actually move it around in place, and they have lockers on it. Right now I don't have them locked, and I have this shoved under the table, which seems to be a good spot the way it works. Very easy. The buttons on it are really nice. They are kind of touch sensitive. Right now I have it set to auto mode, but you can manually control the fan. So let's say you're doing something like a piece of wood and the automatic settings for it aren't drawing enough smoke out as fast. You could actually come over here and hit the button, and it'll turn the fan up, or go back to auto mode, and it'll ramp it back down. Like I said before, the power button actually allows you to do the Bluetooth hookup to the machine. That way it knows to use it. But yeah, so far I really like it. Okay, and we are back, and we are doing our review and kind of final thoughts on the Safety Pro AP2. I have been doing some engraving on it on and off between shooting this video, and I can tell you this one thing: it does a great job of filtering out the air and not having any odors coming out of this machine, as long as you leave this lid closed. Now, I have some patience. I'm not known to have the best patience when it comes to projects, so a lot of times I will lift it up early, and then I'll get a little bit of the smell of, either burnt wood, the metallic-y smell when I'm doing metal, whatever. But if you leave this closed until that machine shuts off, I can tell you there is very little to no odor out of it. And so far, what we have engraved is wood, slate, and aluminum, or anodized aluminum. Actually, it's right here. Sorry about that. Losing track of all my stuff. And 2 different types of steel. Now, we haven't picked up the 304 or 316 steel. I actually have ordered the 304 steel to come. That's the really shiny stuff that you can get the color engraving on. So there will be a follow-up video on how to do color engraving, because this does do some color engraving. But so far, especially if you're working in your house, maybe not in a garage, or if you're going on site somewhere that's indoors, you might want to start looking at picking up this Safety Pro AP2. I'm not saying it's absolutely 100% necessary. I can't complain. I got it during the giveaway. They sent it to me in addition with the F2. It's not something I probably would have gone out and purchased on my own. Working in the garage here, I typically just vent everything outside. I'd probably just get an inline 2-inch hose with an extractor on the back and just shove it outside. But if you're a crafter that works inside, maybe you live in an area that's really cold or really hot, you don't have a climate controlled garage, or working in an office setting. I work out in a garage that's not climate controlled. I just shove everything out. But maybe you don't have that option, or don't want to vent it through a window. I think this would be a great option. It's going to keep the air clean. It's going to make sure any types of toxic fumes come off or are filtered out, and keep your household and loved ones inside, as safe and healthy as possible with that filtration. It is a little bit on the more expensive side. It is going for $9.99 currently right now. I think they do have sales down to $7.99. That's why it's kind of like, if you're going to buy it as a package deal and you're doing this in a craft room in your house, I'd probably get it, unless you have easy access to vent it outside, and there's a whole other set of steps you need to do for that. But for the ease of the fact that you put it all together, I mean, you saw how simple it was to set that up, and the F2 now at this point. Definitely a good addition to the shop. I'm really actually happy to have it out here. When I have Kit out here, or both kits working, I can do the engraving on here and not have to worry about those fumes getting to them or bothering them, or maybe having to stop for the day to go inside and do something else. They both like coming out here and working, especially Kit. She has been coming out here to learn more and more about the laser engraver and woodworking side of things, and anything that I can have to keep my family safe from any potential harm, it's worth its weight in gold at that point. So anyways, feel free to check the bottom in the comments. I did pick up an affiliate link for XTool, so I will be putting that in there. Please click it. Any money made from those affiliate links off these YouTube videos is going back into the channel, whether it's buying new equipment out here to do better videos, pay someone to do the editing, whatever it is. I'm trying to do it so it produces more and better content for you guys, so we can grow a nice community of hobbyists, basically we'll call it. DIYers, woodworkers, laser engravers, stay-at-home parents, whatever you want. Like I said, this channel is very unique because it kind of covers a bunch. But anyways, you all hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.